Hey Kyle, welcome. Just getting the camera all set up here. Hey everyone, thanks for joining tonight's episode. Welcome to the Spoilers Podcast. Tonight's guest is going to be Kyle Newsom. He's a master storyteller in the works of GA, warbirds, air shows. He's traveled across the nation, overseas. We're going to hear some incredible adventures tonight and some great stories. Let's get him on here. All right. Hey Preston, how you doing? Hey Kyle.
Hey, Oscar.
You made it home?
Yeah, we made it home this morning and then went straight to work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great weekend this weekend. It was great seeing you and seeing you work behind the scenes. How was it for you?
It was awesome. Obviously we all love Stewart, and unfortunately with the government shutdown, it made its own challenges, but we have such a incredible civilian lineup that it made the show so worth it. It's a family just just everybody just gets together and just has a really good time. And our night show was unfreaking real on Friday night. They went on a ballistic, basically firework display, with pyro and fireworks going left and right, while Nathan Hammonds was flying in the background. So, and then they did tributes to Glenn McNeely and to Rob Holland. So they did a really, really good job. I'm saluting it. And then on Sunday, we had the Goodyear blimp, and that was actually pretty cool. It was a little surprise. I didn't even know about it until Sunday morning, so the fact that we were able to pull that off was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was quite a unique demo. I'd never seen the Goodyear blimp do those like pitch maneuvers before or dump
Yes,
water, which was
the
really
dump
cool.
in the water is really cool because it helps with their basically the balance
Yeah.
and the bow to allow it to have more of that movement. And that was what was displayed on Sunday, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was
And the
awesome.
fact that honestly, it was closer. The blimp was actually closer to the show line than the other air shows, so it was a really cool experience, especially those people that got to see it in person.
Yeah, that's one thing I did notice. I mean, I understand the military jets didn't show up this year because of the furlough, like you were saying, and we don't really see a low show when there's military involved, unless it's like a beach show. But something over the base or over an airport like Stewart, you had Nathan Hammond, like you said, you had R.J. Gritter doing some low aerobatics. It was just amazing.
I
Even
can't.
the MiG coming down a little lower than usual. It was really great.
Yeah, I mean they all have flight restriction and altitudes that they have to follow on each aircraft. People like Nathan Hammond, RJ Gritter, they have a SAT card that allows them to go all the way to the ground. So there can be a lot of really cool displays that you can see at air shows across the country. And Stewart is just one special show, and it's Veterans Day weekend, so we like to honor our Veterans Day. When the government is open, we are really cool about celebrating some of the last demo pilots that'll fly. For example, let's say FEMA retired this year, and he would fly at Stewart, and we will do a big celebration, just like everybody saw last year with Mad, with the A-10 and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The fact that Stewart can celebrate our military, but also celebrate our civilian performers is unreal. It's unmatched, and it's a show I recommend to everybody.
Yeah, I love going to it. I've been going to it since 2019. But every year, we've been blessed with some really good weather in the last few years, so it's definitely a place to go and see the show. It is backlit from the audience, but there is the practice show, the GA side, the airport lets you go over there and see it from an FBO, so that's cool to experience. Um, let's get into it. Can you tell me what initially drew you into the world of aviation? I know we chatted a little bit while we were at the show, but what got you into aviation and telling the stories of aviation pilots?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'll try to summarize it. In '97, I went to my first air show, which was the Vector Dayton Air Show, and I really fell in love just with the world of aviation. And back then, I wanted to be a Thunderbird, actually. So it was just wild to like see like those fast jets and the aerobatic performers like Sean D. Tucker, who I really like looked up to a little bit, and Michael Goulian. And so it really just went like I just went balls to walls every year. I was like, let's go to air shows every year. So I went to the Vector Dayton Air Show every year. One of the special air shows I ever been to was the Vector Dayton Air Show 2023 or 2003, and was the 100th anniversary of flight. They put on one hell of a display. You had all three jet teams, the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, and the Snowbirds, and you had celebrity flights like John Travolta in the Qantas 707. There was really, really cool displays, including the F-117 Nighthawk. So, like, you had some special lineups at that show. So, to celebrate the 100th anniversary at Dayton Air Show was unbelievable. That show was really, really special to me. And then later in life, I realized that I wanted to get more involved in the air show industry, and it was one of those like special moments that I'll always be thankful for, and it really has transformed me into where I am today. And I went to Columbus show, which was called The Gathering of Legends and Mustangs, and that was in '07. And when I was walking around the ramp and looking at all these P-51s and seeing all these amazing legends during the World War II era that flown them, I really found like more respect for the air show industry and realized that we can be storytellers in this business. So I was just watching a show. I was watching Michael Goulian. This one he was with Cash for Oil, and I realized that with when I was watching him, I was like, he's just my favorite performer, and for so many reasons. And I was just watching it, and I looked like behind me, and I saw his wife and his little daughter, and she was one at the time, and I was just like, I'm gonna let them watch the show, and I'm gonna introduce myself afterwards, and the rest was history. It been nothing but grateful for Mike, and I after that show, I emailed him and he had answered all my questions, and later was like, Kyle, you should come to the Indianapolis Air Show and come help me. And they had this like little NASCAR like tractor trailer, and we would have to put the like floors together, and I was just this hospitality assistant. And then there's another gentleman called David Kickleitner that was there. That was Michael's like ferry pilot, but also he was like the content creator for the Goulian Air Sports team. And I was able to film at the Indianapolis Air Show with him. And that's when I like picked up my first camera actually at an air show, realizing like this is something really, really cool. I need to pursue it more. Then I finished high school, and then after I finished high school, realized that I want to pursue aviation a lot further. But my great uncle invited me to go to Nepal and go to the Himalayas, and I fell in love with hiking and with the outdoors. We've always been involved with outdoors since I was a kid, and so I went to Nepal with my great uncle and my great aunt, and their son passed away. My great cousin passed away from lymphoma, so we brought his ashes all the way up to 18,000 feet off of Gokyo-ri, which is a mountain near Mount Everest. When you look over top of once you get to that summit, it overlooks all the tallest mountains in the world. That view was absolutely amazing. But when you pick up a camera, a lot of people buy cameras because they want to shoot the mountains, right? And I quickly realized that there was a love of people, the porters that were carrying supplies up these mountains, yaks carrying supplies up the mountains. The stories, the people that were talking, like somebody like gave us this like Everest rock and said this was on the top of Everest, and hearing their stories behind it, it was just so like the whole trip was majestic, and I just like realized that I love filmmaking. I love storytelling, and I need to figure out how to get into it more. Knowing that I want to mix filmmaking, storytelling with aviation. So I got back from the trip, went to college for a associate's degree in aviation maintenance technology, And while I was going through college, I was working 3 jobs, trying to save up all the money while going through college and going through flight school. I got my private pilot license, and then shortly after that, I got my seaplane license, and then shortly after that, I started pursuing the drone side of things and got my Part 107. And now I'm a 500-hour pilot.
Congrats. That's
And
awesome.
in the process of doing all that, I realized, how do I need to dig into the filmmaking more? So I joined a Facebook groups. I looked up Cincinnati videographers, and everybody was like doing these like indie films, short films. So I just joined everybody on set. I was learning my like different ways of just getting on set, from production assistant all the way up to director of photography. And after that, I was just like, let's just keep going. And I've been pursuing it ever since, and then I started Newsom Productions, which was mostly wedding filmmaking. I did that for 8 years, and that helped me gain the money that I needed to purchase all the documentary gear. When it comes to cinema cameras, to audio gear, to lenses and stuff, it gets very expensive, and I used the wedding filmmaking industry to as a learning tool to be a better storyteller, filmmaker, realizing my goal was to do filmmaking full time, and now I've been involved almost full time directly with the air show business the last 5 years. So I'm living a dream that I was pursuing since I was a little kid.
Man, that sounds amazing. Are we gonna see a, Himalayan film in the future?
So I filmed all that, and my great uncle, my great aunt put a library in the Himalayas for 2,000 Nepalese children, and we opened up the library, and I documented all this. The kids just having fun with us, playing soccer and stuff like that. And I saved it on a hard drive and stuff. Well, I put the wrong power outlet to the hard drive and burnt the hard drive, and I tried to
Oh no.
recover it. But that was like 10 years ago. So there's
Yeah.
photos and stuff from the trip, and a few videos from the open up the library, but I lost most of that. Unfortunately, is what it is. Lessons learned.
Yeah. What's your you mentioned Warbirds and you mentioned Julian. He does a lot of aerobatics. Do you have a preference of who do you like to work with more, the Warbird side and the veterans, or like the civilian aerobatics?
I love it all aviation. The only way to empower aviation is by just telling a story. The story needs to be told. But like the civilian side, getting to work with Julian and all the other very talented performers like Nathan Hammonds, RJ Gritter. You have Northern Stars. You have Tom Larkin in the mini jet. There's so many talented performers, and we need to recognize them a lot more in this business, and we need to tell their story a lot more. It's really, really important. Like, everybody's an ambassador in aviation in this world, and I really truly believe that aviation wouldn't be where it is today without air shows, and there's something special about that.
Yeah,
If you really look at history, you look at the California Air Meet. It was in 1913, and it was one of the first public air shows ever documented. So it's pretty amazing, the history, if you really look back at the world of air shows.
yeah. What's some of the biggest challenges you've faced while researching and sharing those stories?
Challenges,
Yeah.
I think for anybody, there's the challenge is that, like, trying to think what the best like challenge or a situation that I gone through. I would say the challenge when it comes to like make sure that you're documenting the stories is like there's a lot of time and like money investment and travel and getting to places and like keeping that energy and that rhythm going, and you have to really be persistent. You have to be ready to tackle those goals and those objectives and those travels, and making sure that when the time is right that you can go out and meet that objective.
You had mentioned um, the historical aspect of air shows. You said 1913 was the first air show in California?
Don't
Or roughly around
Don't
that
correct
time.
me, but yeah, it was the California Air Meet, and it was one of the first public air shows.
And
But the first public air show, to my knowledge, was in Paris, which was in Europe, which was the first air show ever.
yeah, what role does history play in the stories you tell, and how do you balance the technical details with the engaging narrative?
The So when you look at like air shows, you look at the ages of air shows, that could be coming from sponsorships to just the era that we have seen, the entertainment that has gone over the years. This industry is ever changing. At least from the performers or the military performer standpoint, every about 2 to 4 years, you have a new military performer, and history is told with each of those individuals. Each of those individuals have an incredible story or a passion or a dream that they're pursuing. And I always want people to experience air shows by going and talking to the performers, the military performers, and get to know them. Um, that's how you can learn about history, is actually experiencing the actual environment around the business.
Yeah, definitely. Getting up close and personal with the demo teams. Stewart has that. I mean, there's other shows that you can have and walk up to the statics. Sun and Fun. Also, you have a good static. You could stand there. You could kind of look at the aircraft from up close. You could, communicate with some of the pilots and learn about their history a little bit. Um,
I mean, if you look at back at performer, like even history, you think of people like Patty Wagstaff, the impact that she pushed on the competitive aerobatic world. You have IAC, the International Aerobatic Club, that does phenomenal work inspiring the next generation of aerobatic performers. And then you look back at Julie Clark, another. She was just this year inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame. You look at Sean D. Tucker, his airplane's upside down in Smithsonian, with a long-term sponsor, Oracle. You look at Gene Susi. You look at the Iron Eagles and the Eagles aerobatic team, that did unbelievable work. And Paul Perenzi was one of the founders of EAA, and he was part of that formation team as well. So there's so much recorded history in the aviation world around air shows. And if you really open your eyes and actually invest in learning, you can really, really appreciate what this industry has done for aviation.
yeah, definitely. Um, how do you? We had. I don't know how we want to move into this one, but I know we had discussed it a little bit. The legacy of Rob Holland. What he's done for aerobatics, what he's done for air shows. You want to touch base on it? I know you worked closely with him. You had a very touching tribute after he passed. Tell me a little bit about your perspective of Rob Holland.
So when you look at Rob, you look at a dreamer, aeronautical innovator, and somebody that can inspire millions of people. Um, he's gonna be missed, and he uh, he made impact on everybody's life in some type of way, and there's something empowering about that. A couple of days ago on Monday, we did a Rob's Day at Disney, and we had 3 people at Disney mention our sweatshirts and Rob, and the fact that he can put out a message across the world, and hopefully people can see that and use Rob's message to pursue their goals, to pursue their dreams, and to never give up. Rob was always flying. He was always competing. He was down at Union City practicing all the time. He was always wanting to be the best. And the only way to be the best is to work your butt off. And
Yeah,
Rob did that. And you can really look at Rob's life as like, if he can do that, I can too.
yeah,
And Rob will live on a legacy in all of us. including myself. I'm really appreciative, Rob. Yeah, I miss him a lot, but yeah, there's a big message in there for everybody is that if you dream hard, you can achieve, and that's what Rob did.
Yeah. How does I mean his passing is going to affect all of us, that even those that have just passed and just met him once and those that were part of his air show family. How is that going to affect your future outlook in capturing air shows here on out?
It makes me want to like this industry deserves each of us. We are the future of this business, and Rob would want that. We have to continue to pursue aviation. We have to continue to inspire the next generation of aviators, and we have to continue to believe and dream. And if we continue all those possibilities, this industry, this world will continue to be bright. And Rob just left a really, really good legacy, and I'm really proud to know him, and I'm really proud that I got to experience so much with him, and I'm eternally grateful for everything that he has been able to do for each and one of us. It's not just me; he's done a lot for a lot of people, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely is quite amazing. Let's see. You were wow, that was kind of hard to start up again after that one. But so this past weekend you did some air work. Preston had mentioned in the chat. How did you get into air-to-air content creation?
So, air-to-air content creation, a lot of people ask this question. It is, but this is important. First off, go to a drone class. Go get your Part 107. Learn the basics of airspace rules and knowledge, aeronautical knowledge. Just even go to a pilot operating handbook and get that. So you have to understand the basics of aerodynamics, flying. Maybe go take a discovery. Walk around an airplane. Walk around an airplane while it's moving. There's some basics that need to be done, and you have to understand the safety aspect. Air to air is not for everybody, but there is way that it can be open and do it properly. And there's a lot of safety discussions that need to be done when it comes to air content, and there that would be like the starting point is understand aviation, understand the fundamentals of flying, weather, communications, airspace, before you start actually filming air to air. There's a safety aspect to it. And then, fortunately, because I got my pilot's license and did my seaplane and my drone stuff, I was able to build knowledge over that time frame. So that's a good starting point is take a discovery flight, learn about aviation, and then eventually you can implement your filmmaking with aviation, and then eventually do air-to-air cinematography.
Do you have your own airplane, or are you just kind of renting one out of flight school and building
Yeah,
time?
yeah, I just rent. I spent so much money on my cameras that that's where my passion sits, and that's okay. But yeah, I rent at least a couple times a year, and try to do as much as I can when I can and when I have the money. This last couple of years, I've focused wholeheartedly just in the filmmaking side of things. Um, and try to do as much air-to-air missions as possible. My goal is to collect air-to-air footage of every civilian act
Wow.
in our air show industry, and it's getting there. But I'm really proud of that, and that's something I really want to achieve is to document as many of our civilian acts as possible, because they are the heart of our business, just as much as the military.
And what are you shooting to capture your footage, or what
So
equipment are you using?
recently I bought a new camera, kind of keep it close to my heart. But a lot of the air to air that I've done in the past was with the Sony FX3. It's a great camera. You can get the 24 to 70 G Master two lens to help keep focus. And then you can change it between 4K 60 and 4K 120.
Have you seen the new Nikon and Red blend with that Nikon ZR?
Yeah, are you talking about was it the Nikon ZR or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, with the red Kodak
yeah.
6K. Yeah, so it's a great camera for the price of $2,000 for a 6K raw Kodak, and it would do the work for like air to air and stuff. It's not my camera because I need internal stabilization and some other features. But it is a great camera. You can also buy a Ronin 4, the gimbal, the camera
Hmm.
gimbal, and then you can attach it to that to help stabilize for like air to air stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, you have your system right now is pretty old. It looks all decked out. You know, you have your little LCD screen on your side. You have, there's a little kind of like behind the scenes. I think someone got a photo of you guys. It was you and um I think you met Omar this past weekend.
Yep.
So he was in the back of this what was this plane you were in?
Seneca.
The Seneca. Yeah. I
Yeah.
almost said Sonesta for some reason. That's not right.
Yeah. Seneca.
The Seneca, yeah.
There's multiple different platforms that people can use for air to air. Like Baron is one of them. You have a Bonanza A36. Uh, Sometimes people use the Bonanza V-tails. You have the Senecas. Uh, I've shot in the back of the T6 a lot. Then you have like the short field takeoff and landing aircraft like Cub Crafters and Legend Cubs and stuff that you can shoot from as well. Chiefs have a sliding door that you can use for slow flight operations. So there's a lot of different really cool airplanes out there.
Was it challenging to be literally right at the tail of that the Seneca there, rather than where God, I forget her name. Is it
So
Christy?
for who was in the aircraft with me,
Yeah.
Kelly,
Oh,
Kelly
Kelly.
Hammer.
That's right, Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah. So Kelly's a phenomenal air-to-air photographer, and she's really accomplishing the business when it comes to the air-to-air photography. I'm really proud of her. So her and her family own the Seneca, and so she's able to get on those air-to-air photo flights as much as they're able to. So it's really really cool what Kelly's doing.
Let's see. What advice would you give to any aspiring aviation enthusiasts that want to get into filmmaking?
My best advice for anybody that's interested in the aviation filmmaking is that you have to show up. You have to go to air shows and you have to just go and learn and meet people, network, and just even chat with somebody for 5 minutes. And eventually your face will be shown, and then people are gonna get to know you, and then they'll invite you to their house or a photo workshop or the next air show. And that's the best way to, I would say, to get in this business. Join some Facebook groups, like I mentioned before, especially if you're solely heartily wanting to do narrative films or get into filmmaking. There's local groups that you can join, um, and join on their productions and stuff. Sometimes the best way to learn is just be a production assistant and work your butt off. But there's many ways to get into filmmaking, but I really believe that you just have to show up, and once you show up and you work hard for it and you start networking and meet people, the doors will open for you.
Can you share an inspiring or surprising story that you've uncovered in all your years of capturing aviation, besides the last few that you've mentioned tonight? But is there something that you were filming in a particular way, and then you realized, you know, that there was maybe a better way of doing it, or like a happy accident of some sort?
Trying to think of like an instant of. I think sometimes when you're in the right place and you're like in your zone of filmmaking and you're just doing it, things happen naturally that sometimes you don't recognize it. Trying to think of something that was like happened by accident that maybe wasn't supposed to happen. That one of the cool things actually that I remember um, was I had to rent out the 150 and flew up to Pickwood, Ohio, and I knew Mike was practicing, so I went up there to hang out with Mike. And then it turned in like Shawnee Tucker showed up, and when we were all just when I flew the 150 up to Pickwill, Ohio, which was the home of Hartzell Propeller, and when just hanging out with like people that you always like as a kid like looked up to, and to hang out with that and see them practicing and see the precision and the dedication on you know getting building that excellence out of aerobatic flying. Like back when I was like, little kid, now able to fly an airplane up to Piqua and hang out with Sean and Mike was something I'm really proud of because I just was like, man, I finally are getting to achieve my dreams, my goals, while also, flying up to see my heroes. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's always fun. Um, Now, I think we had touched base a little bit of, you gave me a pointer when I was trying to capture, video earlier this year. How do you balance the sharpness and like a motion blur for the propellers while doing video?
So for like air to air example, like you have to do like 4K or camera I'm using is 8K. You have to shoot at 23 frames per second. You have to get that full motion blur. So, but the best way to keep a good slow motion, while trying to get that full motion blur out of the camera, for video wise, is shoot like 4K 60. Make sure your shutter is 125th of the shutter speed. That would be the best way to keep that prop blur that you're looking for, unless you have a good solid tripod that pans good left and right with a heavy weight. Then you could shoot 23 frames per second, get that full prop blur. But for air to air, I always shoot 4K or 8K at 23.
Cool. Did you ever, and you said you went to college for your AMT. Did you get certified in a airframe and power plant?
So I went through the school and stuff, got the degree and all that, but I didn't finish the AMP. I was so focused on the flight school side of things that I just didn't finish it. It was more of going to flight, going to maintenance school to understand the basics of our with the mechanics and that type of thing. So if I had something going on while I was flying, I know how to identify it and maybe potentially fix it myself.
Yeah, the same. I did airframe and power plant school while I was in high school, and maybe a year or so after high school, and then I started college around the same time and got interested in air traffic and kind of forgot about aircraft maintenance. But that knowledge sticks with you. I could probably, you know, assist now in overhauling a posed engine, but I'm not gonna be able to sign off on it. Where can our listeners and people that are viewing this on Instagram, where can they see your images and your videos? Do you have a YouTube channel or
So YouTube, you can find it on Aviators and Airplanes on the YouTube channel, or you can look up Kyle Newsome Aviation. There's one of those two channels, and then on Instagram you can find me at Kyle Newsome one.
okay? Is there so Randy Ball posted I think it was a video today or a series of photos talking about maybe flying with an F4 Phantom next year. Do you think we're going to see that in any local shows down south, or do you think that's going to be saved for like Oshkosh?
It's possible. I really don't know. That's really up to what Randy books and stuff like that. I really don't know what his schedule's gonna look like, but I can tell you I want to see that for.
Do you have uh kind of list of air shows that you're going to attend next year, or how does that work?
Like for right now, definitely Dayton, Geneseo, Stewart. My years always are subject to change. Depends on the projects I'm doing and things I'm working on. I'm looking forward to some documentary filmmaking that I'm gonna do and some TV shows that will be shown next year that I was a director of photography on. So I'm looking forward to what the future is gonna look like.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. That's quite an achievement. We had mentioned a little bit. Well, we had talked about it over the weekend about ICAS, and you being a supporter of ICAS, going out there. You've worked with these air shows like Stewart. Is there anyone else that you've worked with that you've gone out there and pretty much covered the air show via social media?
Yeah, you can also see all my work with the National Warplane Museum, which is in Geneseo, New York. I've been working with that show the last 3 years, and I got those shows because of Rob. So I have a lot of appreciation for Rob, and so yeah, Geneseo is another phenomenal show. If people want to see a show that's all turf, it's called they call it the greatest show on turf. I call it the greatest air show on turf. It's the same way. So if you look up the greatest air show on turf, you'll find Geneseo. It's a really unbelievable show. It's all grass and it's all warbirds. And then we have a little bit of civilian acts, so it's really, really a phenomenal show. And then we include the military as well. We
Have
had
you done
we had the F-18 and the F-35 this year, which was pretty phenomenal.
the F-18 and F-35 landed on turf?
No, no,
Oh,
they go to Rochester, New York. Yeah, that's not possible.
I was gonna say, man, that's sketchy. Have you done any drone work with aircraft? Like there's a few other drone pilots that have done it, and they get permission and a waiver with the FAA. Have you done any of that in your history?
Yeah, I've flown a lot of drones around airplanes. I would say I've been doing it the last 10 years or so. Thousands of hours of drone experience when it comes to flying around airplanes. It's a lot of fun, but again, when we were talking about safety,
Yeah.
and understanding basically what an airplane is doing. Like when you take off, if you turn left, are you going, through the crosswind? And then if you turn to the left again, you're going through downwind. Turn left again, your base, and then you turn left again, your final. There's fundamentals of flying that people need to understand. So I don't recommend just going out and flying drones next airplanes. You have to be an experienced drone operator, but you also have to understand aviation. It's not for everybody, but if you can do it and you can fly safely, you can make some pure cinematic magic for sure.
What drone are you using currently?
I have the Phantom. I don't fly it much, but it is a backup. It's an old drone, but I mostly use the Mavic series, the Mavic 4, the Mavic 3, Classic. I have the wide Classic. Yeah, phenomenal drone systems, and obviously the Inspire systems. I've been able to operate too.
Awesome. All right, you got anything to add to this show? I'm pretty much tapped out here with my questions.
No, but I do believe that the world needs more documentaries when it comes to aviation, and we're going to see that more and more over the next several years. And I would say keep your eyes on that. I have some cool things I'm going to work on in the future with some big long-term filmmaking documentaries that are going to take a lot of passion, but they're going to capitalize on what aviation is really all about.
Looking forward to that. Is there any fellow cinematographers out there that you draw inspiration from?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of talented cinematographers. There's Jerry with Beta Technologies. He's phenomenal. If you go to Beta Technologies YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of really cool storytelling that they're doing with the electric aircraft. It's a pretty phenomenal system, and I was fortunate to go do some air-to-air cinema with that group. They're phenomenal people, and you should check out their YouTube channel. Phenomenal storytelling, comedy. They mix it all up. It's really, really cool with Beta Technologies. And then you have other filmmakers like Ethan O'Rourke, PDZZY. He is really becoming a good aviation cinematographer and storyteller, and he has some phenomenal documentaries already out that he's worked his butt off over the last 3 years. You should check out the Sky Angels. Sky Angels is out there. It's on his YouTube channel. It's a really cool, passionate, California-based Santa Barbara rescue aviation like story that everybody should go check out called Sky Angels. And then he's coming out with a new film at the end of the month called In the Shadows that everybody should go check out, where he flew a A-26 pretty much all the way to the 80th anniversary of Normandy and back and told the story. Everybody's gonna love that. I was fortunate enough to be able to help him through some of the editing process on that and give him some good feedback. So I'm looking for everybody to see that. And then um, other obviously talented aerial cinematographers, especially in the motion picture world. You have Michael Fix-Maurice. He doesn't get enough credit, uh, but if you really look at his background, you have all the way from the new Apple immersive 360 thing that just came out yesterday, where they flew F-18 right underneath a helicopter, pretty much almost at supersonic. Uh, and it's a Blackmagic immersive 360 camera. Pretty wild for the Apple Vision Pro series that they're making. He's shot, Top Gun Maverick and Devotion and other aviation films that if you haven't seen, you should check it out as well. And then you have, obviously Kevin Russo, the helicopter pilot and their coordinator. Um, the fact that he gets to do some of the most impressive aviation films is really, really cool. From the Blue Angels IMAX film to the Air Force Legends, the Thunderbirds on Netflix. There's some talented, inspiring aviation filmmakers out there, and I have a lot more to learn, but I'm really addicted to this business, and it's pretty amazing to see the other talented filmmakers and individuals that are pushing the bounds of what aviation storytelling need to be.
Yeah, there's definitely. I love both of those films, the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds films. Amazing. Watching all the behind the scenes of Maverick, on well, behind the scenes of these amazing filmmakers, and they're young guys. They know how to shoot it in such a like precise. I can't even put it into words, really. It's just amazing to get someone behind the camera to have that vision that's perfectly where you can experience the flight without even knowing what the inside of an F-18 is like. It's quite amazing. It makes you really want to, I don't know, it makes me really want to fly an F-18 for
Yeah,
the most part.
uh, yeah, it's pretty impressive. The fact that we can use like Insta 360s and GoPros
Yeah.
inside cockpits, and the fact that they allow that to happen to show that immersive experience inside those fighter jets, allows the audience to truly feel what it's like to be a Blue Angel or a Thunderbird. And fortunately, I've been able to go inside of a Thunderbird briefing and to see all the angles of what it takes to fly a great demonstration is really, really, really phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, Kyle, thanks. It was a pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to, your future, and it's gonna be pretty amazing, I think, seeing your films in the future. I want to thank you for coming on, and hopefully we could do this again.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, and I really appreciate hanging out with you at Stewart and stuff, and just chatting it up, and looking forward to what you continue to accomplish as well. This world needs more people like us and more people like you to continue inspiring the next generation of aviators and keep telling stories. That's what needs to be done and what should be done. And the best way to continue to do that is keep networking with people, keep inspiring people, and share that positive message.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining today's show. We'll see you again. I think it's in a week. So schedule's got a little squirrely there. So I might November is like back to back. So we'll see you in a week or a week and a half, and hope you all have a good night. And until next time, see you later.
You guys, thank you.